You're going to miss that music, aren't you? I am. I've been listening to it for 31 days, including today. And some of you have been with me all 31 days. For those folks, thank you. For those of you who have jumped in and out, that's okay too, as long as you were able to pick up some valuable information to help you go through the journey of divorce during the Christmas season, which can be difficult for some people. So I am grateful for these 31 days, and I am also grateful that I was able to keep the commitment. That means a lot to me when I make a promise or a commitment that I stick with it and that I fulfill my obligation to my word. And that's important to me. So I'm just really grateful that you are here to experience this with me. So it is the final day of 2022. Of course, I have some thoughts, but first I have some announcements. We want to talk about January 4th, which is not that far off, 4 days, in fact, when we will be holding a seminar. And we are going to talk about moving forward after divorce. And that is going to be a week before we begin life coaching after divorce on January 11th. You are invited, encouraged, strongly encouraged to join this group if you have recently gone through a divorce or have finished a divorce. Maybe it's been years since you've been through a divorce, but you are still stuck and not able to move forward. This group is for you. So I'll talk about it on January 4th a little bit, give you a little more information on it, but we are going to start January 11th, and we are going to begin using resources and moving forward into the new year and into the new life. So we've wasted enough time on the past. Now we need to be urgently planning a future. Because if we don't, if we just kind of wait for it all to come to us, it's not going to come. In fact, it might, but it might be years and years instead of you taking the initiative and saying, here's what I'm going to do. This is the focus that I'm going to make. This is my new life declaration. That is my vision for my purpose and my future. So please join us. You have nothing to lose, really. You know, in 17 years of holding support groups and doing some coaching and of course mediation, I have never heard anyone say, boy, this was a waste of my time. I didn't get anything out of this. Never heard it once. Granted, I have had some mediations that didn't quite succeed, but at least we had laid a groundwork and we made some progress in getting an agreement between the parties. So it's not a waste of time. And especially if you are going to go into well, either group really, whether you're going through the divorce right now or you have gone through the divorce and you're planning for your future, either one is really going to be a small investment of your time, a small investment of your money. I've had so many people say, I can't believe you do it for this. It's my mission. It's my work. I don't want you to be alone. I don't want you to flounder as you go through divorce or after a divorce. A lot of people do. Don't have to. You just have to be intentional and have a plan. So if you are newly going through a divorce, you're not ready to plan your future life. You've got to first survive the divorce. And so that on January 10th, we will begin a 10-week support group, which is separate from January 11th. But we'll begin that group and we will progress through all of the emotions, the decisions, the acceptance, and moving forward through divorce. So I hope you'll join me. Get a registration form, sign up now. Would love to have you join me because I don't want you alone and I don't want you floundering on this confusing state of going through divorce. So now we are December 31st, 2022. Last time I'll say it that it'll be official and I won't be speaking of the past, that we are bidding farewell to an old year. In fact, I looked up the meaning of Auld Lang Syne, which is something that, you know, it's been around us forever. We've sung it, we've known of it, we've heard it, right? But we didn't really pay attention to what it means. So it really means a bid to old times or old sake. And it was written by a Scottish poet, Robert Burns, in 1788. Can you imagine having a song that is around for that many years? That's amazing. But it is for whatever strong tradition that people sing this song. It's really bidding farewell to the past, um, and that's kind of sentimental and traditional to do. But for many of you, you are eager to bid farewell to the past. You are eager to leave this year behind because it has not been a successful, a happy one. It's not where you want to stay. It's not where you want to be. So you are gladly bidding the world goodbye. Not the world, forgive me, no. We're bidding the old year goodbye. We're not bidding the world goodbye. Not yet. Not for a long time because we have a life to live a beautiful life to live. And I don't want you to miss out on a moment of it. But we are going to let go of the past. And as we look back, many of us will look back over the past year and ask the question, what has the year taught me? As I look back, it hasn't been in vain. There have been lessons in 2022. And so I would ask you, what has the year taught you? Maybe it has taught you that you're stronger than you thought you were, or maybe it has taught you the importance of boundaries. But there have been lessons that you have learned over the past year. And I wonder if you can think of a few of them. In fact, write them down. Write them down. Maybe you learned this person who I thought was a friend who would be there for me isn't. That was a lesson to me. Maybe I found that I can make stronger decisions for myself than I ever thought possible. That was a lesson for me. Maybe I learned that just because someone says that they're committed to you doesn't mean that they will live it out. That was a lesson to me. Yeah, there's so many. I could list endlessly for hours. But what has the year taught you? What has the year taught you? And then once you have discovered that, I want to ask you the question, do you see it clearly or are you shading it with your own pain? For example, many of us feel like I'll never be loved. I'm not lovable. That's not true. We're not seeing it clearly. It's simply shaded by our own pain. And there are numerous things that might come to mind when you ask yourself that question. But what has the year taught me? We find a lesson, and then we ask myself, am I really seeing this clearly? Or is my pain making it really foggy for me? So how do I need to proceed with that? I don't want to fool myself or believe something that isn't true just because I'm in pain and my pain has shaded that or twisted that. So how can I affirm my experience? How can I affirm what my thoughts are? What I feel like my lesson is from last year? Maybe I'm really off base. Maybe I'm believing a lot of lies that I need some correction on. I need some help with. I need some support with. How can I affirm my experience? Well, you've got to talk about it. You can't keep it all inside and try to analyze it and figure it all up here. It doesn't work that way. We need someone to affirm it, to hear it, to hear our story. That's how we can affirm our experience. We can't talk to ourselves. I mean, we can talk to ourselves, but we're not going to get to the bottom line of affirmation of what I'm thinking, I'm believing is really truth. Or maybe I'm just believing some lies. Final question, are my feelings trustworthy of this past year? And as we review the past year, the things I feel about it, are they trustworthy? These questions are really just questions for you to stop and understand that you need support in going through this, that you need someone else to come alongside of you and hear your story and give you a different perspective, perhaps, or maybe affirm you're correct, that I understand what you're saying and I believe that you're correct. You're seeing it correctly. That's possible. But maybe there's another perspective that you've not considered before. And that is the value of having a coach or having a support group. I don't know what lessons you have learned over the past year, but I know that the next year has many lessons for you. It has some good lessons. It has some good experiences. It has and is holding a beautiful life for you. How do I know that? I know that because you're being intentional by listening to this video, especially up to the 10-minute and 51-second mark. You want something different. And I honestly believe you're going to get it because you're going to be intentional in your moving forward. So think of the lessons of 2023, of 2022. And then think, am I seeing this clearly? Am I really seeing this clearly? And then find someone, a group, a friend, a pastor, a counselor, who's going to affirm your experience and give you perspectives that perhaps you do not or cannot see. I wish you the most blessed new year ever. I just hope and pray that 2023 has incredible blessings for you beyond your imagination. In fact, mind-blowing, as they say. That good things, a beautiful life is going to be started and created and lived. And you'll look back and say, at the end of 23, I don't even remember 22 because I was too busy living and being intentional about my life in 2023. God bless you. Thank you for being with me through this past month. And ever onward, here we come, 2023. This is Kathy Beatty with Divorce Support Anonymous, walking with you every step of the way through the trauma of divorce.